Gilgamesh, the name echoes through ages, a legend whispered in the sands of time. He was not merely a king, but a figure woven from the very fabric of myth and legend. His lineage, a potent mix of 2/3 god and 1/3 man, pulsed with a divine power that manifested in his imposing stature. He walked amongst his people with the grace of a lion, his gaze sharp as obsidian, piercing the deepest shadows. His strength, unmatched by any mortal warrior, rivaled the wild bulls that roamed the plains. Yet, within this formidable shell, a darkness lurked. As his reign stretched on, the initial prosperity he brought intertwined with a creeping arrogance. Fueled by his god-blooded heritage, Gilgamesh saw himself above the laws that governed his people. This divine lineage, once a source of strength, became the very fuel for his hubris. No longer content with ruling, he desired control. Whispers turned into accusations, tales of maidens snatched from their families, sons forced to serve the king's every whim. His desires became law, his will an iron fist that crushed dissent. The once proud citizens of Uruk found themselves living in fear, their voices silenced by the ever-present threat of the king's wrath. This descent into tyranny wasn't sudden. It was a slow erosion, a gradual shift from a benevolent leader to a power-hungry despot. The prosperity he brought, the walls he built, the canals he constructed, all became tools to bolster his own image, monuments to his perceived godlike status. His ambition, once admirable, morphed into an insatiable hunger for control. He saw himself as the sole architect of Uruk's success, the sole force responsible for its prosperity. This warped perception blinded him to the suffering he inflicted, to the silent pleas of his people echoing through the very city he had built. The seeds of his downfall were sown with every act of cruelty, with every instance where he placed his desires above the well-being of his people. A young woman, barely a teenager, was dragged from her betrothed on the eve of their wedding, a gift for the king's insatiable appetite. The city held its breath, the collective gasp echoing through the streets as a stark reminder of their king's depravity. Yet, even amidst the stifling silence, whispers of defiance began to spread. In hushed tones, under the cloak of night, stories were shared of the king's cruelty, his disregard for the laws, his insatiable hunger for power. These whispers, though faint, carried the weight of despair, a silent plea reaching the celestial court where the gods watched with growing unease. Anu, the Skyfather, saw the suffering Gilgamesh inflicted and knew a change was needed. He saw the arrogance festering within the king, a darkness that threatened to consume not only him but the very city he had built. But Anu's intervention wouldn't be a direct blow. Instead, he would introduce a counterpoint, a force to challenge the king's unbridled power. His gaze turned to the Untamed Wilderness, a vast expanse where the wind sang ancient songs and untamed beasts roamed free. Here, amidst the whispering reeds and the untamed plains, a creature of raw power and untamed fury was destined to rise. This was no ordinary being. This was Enkidu, a child of the wild, born from the very essence of nature itself. Yet, his arrival, though inevitable, was a story for another time. For now, the focus remained on Gilgamesh, the king who stood at the precipice of his own undoing. His arrogance, a festering wound, threatened to consume both him and the city he ruled. The gods had set their plan in motion, a storm brewing on the horizon, but the true test of Gilgamesh's character was yet to come. His legend, a tapestry woven with threads of light and dark, of strength and hubris, spoke of a warrior king. He was a builder of cities, a conqueror of lands, his name etched in stone and whispered in the wind. Yet it also spoke of a tyrant, a man consumed by his own power, oblivious to the suffering he caused. The tale of Gilgamesh was a story of a king teetering on the edge, unaware of the storm brewing on the horizon, a storm that would forever alter his destiny and the fate of Uruk itself. This was just the beginning. The legend of Gilgamesh was about to unfold, a tale of arrogance and redemption, of friendship and mortality, a story that would forever resonate through the ages. His journey, though fraught with challenges, would lead him to confront his own mortality and grapple with the very essence of existence. His legacy, however, would not be solely defined by his reign of terror, but by the transformation he would undergo, a testament to the enduring power of self-discovery and the consequences of unchecked power. Recurring nightmares plagued Gilgamesh, visions of a monstrous being rising from the wilderness, its eyes burning with an unnatural fury. He awoke in a cold sweat, the oppressive weight of his own actions settling upon him like a shroud. Yet, the king's pride wouldn't allow him to acknowledge the fear gnawing at his heart. He dismissed the dreams as mere phantoms, a figment of his overactive imagination. Meanwhile, in the Untamed Wilderness, a different kind of storm was brewing. Enkidu, a creature of raw power and untamed fury, emerged from the heart of nature. He roamed the plains with the wild beasts, his laughter echoing through the valleys, his strength unmatched by any creature he encountered. He was a force of nature, untamed and unfettered by the laws of men. Yet, even in his wildness, there was a spark of something more. A yearning for connection, a curiosity about the world beyond the wilderness, flickered within him. This spark, though faint, would eventually lead him out of the wild and onto a collision course with the king who had strayed so far from the path of righteousness. The whispers of discontent within Uruk grew louder, a chorus of despair that reached the heavens. An oracle, her voice trembling with the weight of prophecy, spoke of a coming storm, a force that would challenge the king's reign. Her words, though cryptic, sent shivers down the spines of those who dared to listen. The storm was gathering, both within the king's troubled heart and on the distant horizon where a creature of untamed power awaited its destiny. The fate of Uruk hung in the balance, caught between the suffocating grip of a tyrant and the promise of a yet unknown force destined to alter the course of history. This was just a prelude, the first tremors before the earthquake, the quiet before the storm that would forever change the legend of Gilgamesh. Thank you for watching. Please comment below what you would like to see next.